Hey guys, Barrett here with Spec of Tech. Welcome to the channel. Anthem recently released their top-tier audio processor, the AVM90. Along with it, they released some new goodies with their highly regarded room correction software, Arc. Although the AVM90 has a lot going for it with its acoustic chops, not everything gave me that blissful feeling that comes with a great new piece of audio gear though. Stick around and let's talk first impressions and a couple not-so-pleasant experiences of the Anthem AVM90. The video today will be a fairly quick one. We won't be unboxing this unit on camera because it has identical packaging, identical accessories including the remote, and the unit itself is identical looking to the AVM70, minus some slight changes to the inputs on the back, which we will cover later in the video, but this powerhouse has something that very few other processors have. There are some other major changes between the AVM70 and the 90, but it has to do with the internals. If you want to see the unboxing and what is included in the package, feel free to check out my Anthem AVM70 video that is linked in the top right hand corner. Before we get too deep into this video, consider subscribing, tick the bell icon if you do, and take just one short second to hit that like button. I truly do appreciate it. Also, consider supporting the channel by clicking the join button below this video or joining me on Patreon by clicking the link down in the description. Any support helps the channel out by getting products in for reviews and comparisons so I can share them with all of you. I also want to send a big shout out to Base Electronics, which is where I purchased this processor. They did everything they could to get me one as quickly as possible. Check them out by clicking on their website link down in the description. And because I did purchase this unit, you guys get 100% unbiased thoughts and opinions. Nobody has any influence over what I'm about to say or any video about the AVM90 that I may make in the future. Now that we have all that out of the way, let's get into the AVM90. It's currently priced at about $7,500 US or 8,500 Canadian. And if you guys are in Canada, I recommend speaking with Base Electronics about pricing. The design of the unit is identical to the AVM70. I really liked the design of the 70, so that remains true with the 90 as well. It has a well thought out modern look that fits right in 2022. It uses the exact same web UI as the AVM70 as well, which has only gotten better and operates with very few hiccups now. I found myself relying heavily on the web UI. When I first switched from Marantz to the Anthem, I thought I would miss the easy to use on-screen display, but I don't miss it at all anymore. The Anthem does have a basic on-screen display that allows access to settings, etc., but I find myself using the web UI much more because it's user-friendly and intuitive to use. But I said all of this about the AVM70 as well, so this is nothing new. There is a lot to like about the AVM90, but it didn't come without problems. Let's cover the issues I had before we talk first impressions on the sound and what makes this processor one of the best out there. The first problem I had wasn't with the unit itself, but with Arc Genesis, the room calibration software. I recently upgraded my laptop to an Acer Predator gaming laptop to help with editing YouTube videos, and as it turns out, there are certain laptops using certain drivers that don't cooperate well with the Arc Genesis software, and as it turns out, both my Acer Predator and my LG Gram laptop don't cooperate with Arc. For the record, I never had any issues with my previous Acer Nitro editing laptop. The problem is that the software will not recognize the attached Arc calibration mic. I did find a workaround for it that does work consistently, and that is to disable the USB driver. I made a video showing how to do this, which is linked in the top right hand corner of this video. The second issue is that once I was able to get the Arc software to recognize the mic, it would attempt to play the sweeps, but no sound would come from the speakers. Again, this is not something that I ever had issues with on my previous Acer Nitro laptop. I also covered how to fix this in the video linked in the top right hand corner, but all you want to do is reboot the processor and then the sweeps should work. These issues aren't a deal breaker, and I'm sure Anthem will fix them with future patches, but it is something I experienced not just with the AVM90, but also with the AVM70. The third and most annoying issue I ran into is with the AVM90 specifically. A great feature of the AVM90 is that all 10 HDMI inputs and outputs are the latest HDMI 2.0, supporting 8K 60Hz, but more importantly for me, they support 4K 120Hz. This is a feature that I really wanted so that I could play Xbox Series X at 120 frames per second. I can confirm that the AVM90 does support 4K 120Hz on my 77-inch LG C1 OLED TV, but the issue lies in the HDMI 2.1 handshakes for the audio. Literally every 10 seconds, I timed it, while playing anything on my Xbox at 120 Hz, the sound cuts out due to what I assumed was a handshake issue. So at the time of this video recording, it really makes using the 120Hz feature unusable unless you are just using a headset for sound. Then you can enjoy the 120Hz with the signal pass-through feature. You don't even have to have the AVM90 turned on. But if you plan on using 120Hz and the audio through the AVM90, just keep in mind it currently is not working properly. I have made Anthem aware of this issue and they confirmed it is most likely a handshake issue. I'm confident a future software update will fix this problem, but it is an annoying issue that I'm currently experiencing. It's not the cable either, because I have used the exact same cable hooking up the Xbox Series X directly to the TV and used eARC for sound, and I had no issues getting 120Hz and the sound did not have any handshake issues. That covers all the issues I've experienced so far, and for me, none of them are deal breakers because they will most certainly be fixed in the near future, but definitely something you should be aware of. Now let's talk about what I do like. In the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this processor has something that very few other processors have, and that is 4 independent subwoofer outputs. That's right, folks, this processor can independently EQ up to 4 different subwoofers. But this only remains true if you are connecting them using XLR cables. If you plan on using RCA cables, the AVM90 will treat them as 2 subwoofers because there are only 2 RCA subwoofer outputs. Having 4 independent subwoofer outputs is a game changer for those of you like me with more than 2 subwoofers. Currently, I'm using 3 JTR RS2 subwoofers and Croson actuators, meaning I can calibrate them all separately through the Arc Genesis software and the web UI, which is very helpful and in some cases can even eliminate the need for a mini DSP depending on the results and circumstances. The 4 subwoofer outputs is one of the main reasons I purchased the AVM90. The other main reason I bought the AVM90 is the fact that it is using flagship ESS Sabre 9038 DACs. Granted that using a great DAC alone does not promise better sound quality if not implemented properly with better internal components and signal path. In this case, Anthem did an absolutely stellar job on the sound quality. I can only give my first impressions on the sound. I haven't been able to spend too much time with it. I went from having COVID to my parents visiting from out of town and to my work schedule being hectic for 6 weeks straight. So even getting it into my rack was a bit of a challenge in time management, but I finally did get it all connected in the rack, and to help keep it cool, I'm using the EliteTech 1000 Pro thermostat with cooling control that automatically turns the rack's built-in fans on and off. Not that it's necessarily needed, but it can't hurt. The first time I turned it on, I of course had to do some listening even before running Arc, and what I heard truly was something special. If you follow the channel, you know that I felt the AVM70 was a step up in sound over the Marantz AV7706. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the top right hand corner, but the AVM70 had noticeably better channel separation and clarity over the Marantz. I have to say that the AVM90 improves on that greatly over the AVM70. I would say there is a bigger increase in sound quality between the AVM70 and AVM90 than there was between the AVM70 versus the Marantz. Everything is incredibly clear with so much more detail. It took my Paradigm 128 speakers to a whole new level of clarity. At the risk of sounding like an audio guy cliche, I will say this processor is a game changer. The height effects are more noticeable and the effects moving around the room are also precise and separated. This translates very well to music as well. So far, my first impression is that this processor has transformed my entire system. But now comes the age-old question, is it worth almost double the price? While that can only be answered by the individual, everyone prioritizes things differently, but for me personally, it is absolutely worth the price. I wouldn't be surprised if this unit could slug it out blow for blow with units that cost much more. It's truly hard for me to imagine the sound getting any better than what this unit provides. It took my Paradigm 120H speakers and vastly improved their clarity to the point they sound as clear as the legacy Focus SE speakers that I had in this room that cost $7,000 Canadian more than these Paradigms. Yes, I am having some issues with the HDMI handshakes, which really shouldn't be happening on a product that is supposed to be ready for commercial use, but the sound quality quickly made me forget about any frustrations I was having with this unit. Well guys, how's that for first impressions? Make sure that you stay tuned for the full review. As always, I want to hear from you guys, so drop your comments and thoughts down below. Consider subscribing to stay up to date with my new videos. Tick the bell icon if you do, and please take just one short second to hit that like button. I always do appreciate it. If you like tech and audio, come join me on Facebook and Instagram. Links are down in the description below. Remember to enjoy your systems. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.